these are exciting times for James DeGale. I can tell you that I'm deep in negotiations with Andre Dirrell's people right now to make their fight for the IBF world title, which was recently vacated by Carl Froch. My hope is to stage it on April the 25th at the O2 Arena in London, but currently we are both pushing for home advantage. I am confident that with the backing of Sky Sports and James' profile in London, we can deliver him a home fight and a great deal for Dirrell. Whichever way it works, this is going to be a huge fight between two elite super middleweights. It's an extremely tough fight to call. Andre has been beaten only once, and that was on a split decision to Froch in Nottingham. He has come back very strong, and now has 24 wins in 25 fights. He really is a massive threat to James. But I believe our man can win this fight and go on to make history as the first British Olympic champion to win a world title. When he does, it will be interesting to hear George Groves' thoughts. Plenty of people will have noticed my recent Twitter argument with him on the subject of James. I must be honest and say I can't understand the way George thinks sometimes. He was offered this chance of a fight with James, but wants unacceptable terms. The money that we were offering would have amounted to the biggest payday both fighters had ever landed, but Groves is pushing for a fight with WBC champion Andre Dirrell, Andre's brother. Everyone knew that Dirrell was going to be given an extension by the WBC, and now George looks set to have to wait till the autumn/winter for that shot. I understood Groves' most recent offer from them was $150,000, £98,000. Please can someone explain to me why George is going down that route when he could have had a massive fight with James for potentially 20 times the money? This game can drive you crazy sometimes. I woke up earlier this week to a whole bunch of tweets from people asking me about Bernard Hopkins, who has made a few comments about Carl Froch. Froch has described a fight with Hopkins as lose-lose, and Hopkins has taken that to mean he is running scared. I can assure Bernard that is not the case. I am still in talks to make that fight between two legends of the sport. Hopkins has such an awkward style, but I can't see any way how Froch would lose a fight in Nottingham supported by 40,000 of his home fans. I would say in that environment that he would be virtually unbeatable. That Hopkins fight and one against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in Las Vegas remain the only fights that have Carl interested. I'm in talks on both. If they don't happen, then we might have to say goodbye to one of the greatest fighters this country has produced. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen. I have a few irons in the fire at the moment for April 25, when I hope to stage DeGale's world title fight at the O2 Arena. I am also hopeful that the bill will include the fight between IBF featherweight world champion Evgeny Gradovich and Lee Selby, his mandatory challenger. Selby, the Welsh Mayweather, is a tremendous fighter, and he is ready for this test. Anthony Joshua will also have his rescheduled fight with Kevin Johnson. I can't wait to see the big man fighting again. The delays and haggling and saga of Floyd Mayweather-Manny Pacquiao shows you how complex the business of this sport can be. A big part of it will be mind games. Who can call the shots on what? Believe it or not, mind games come into it a lot. It makes me think of the forgettable world title fight between David Haye and Audley Harrison in 2010 and an issue that became a big deal behind the scenes. Haye's people were insistent that both men had to wear a certain type of glove for the fight, even though Audley was contracted to wear a different brand. When we got to the rules meeting, Audley tried on this new glove and didn't like it. The thumb in the right hand didn't feel right. On top of that, the British Boxing Board of Control agreed with Audley. To compromise, Haye's people said Audley could wear one brand of glove on his right hand and another on his left. I'm telling you, it was a big fuss. Ridiculous, really. But after all that, on fight night Haye's trainer, Adam Booth, comes in the dressing room around an hour before the fight, and finally concedes and says it's fine for Audley to wear both of the gloves he wanted to wear at the start. Anything for the smallest advantage in this sport. Mayweather and Pacquiao won't want to give an inch to the other in the build-up to this fight. I caught up with Anthony Crowler in Bolton this week. All I can say is I am absolutely staggering to see him bouncing around his gym and training just a few weeks after fracturing his ankle and skull while tackling two burglars. He was devastated to miss out on his lightweight world title shot against Andre Dirrell, but it is strange how things work out. That fight would have been in front of 7,000 or 8,000 people. Now I'm fairly certain I can make a world title fight for him in the summer, and there will probably be a crowd of 20,000. I was joking with him about the lengths he will evidently go to in order to become a household name. In terms of the summer, I'm confident we could make a fight with the winner of a Dirrell or Derry Matthews. I am also waiting to see what happens with Terence Crawford. If he steps up and vacates his WBO belt, then I am sure I will deliver a fight with top contender Juan Diaz. Prize fighter goes to Blackpool for the first time on Valentine's Day, and I really can't call who is going to walk away with the £32,000 prize. Luke Keeler and Jack Onfield, a local fighter, are the favourites, but this format always throws up a surprise. On the same bill we welcome back America's Carson Jones, who had two cracking fights with Kell Brook. He is fighting Brian Rose, who has a point to prove, after losing his own world title shot last year. This is a massive fight for both men. It should be a cracker, and a win for Brian should put him right back in the frame for another title fight. Related articles: previous 1-2 next to Mercan shows off his stunning new £100,000 Mercedes S63. Britain's boxing heroes face further waiting game for much. Many Pacquiao hopes for answer from Floyd Mayweather this. Mike Tyson rape case was inevitable, I'm surprised more. Derek Chisora hauls heavy rubbish bags and shovels dirt. Share this article, share 78 shares.